All right, and hello, welcome everyone to the Bigger Picture Podcast, episode 1. My name is Brandon, and today we have two special guests with us. We have Obina. Introduce yourself.
What's good? It's Obi, reporting live from San Diego, California. What's up?
All right, excellent. From San Diego, California, and we've got Justin Gray. Say what's up, Justin.
What's up, man? It's Justin. We reporting live from Lynchburg, VA.
All right, excellent. Good to go. Good to go. My name is Brandon, of course. I'll be your host today. I'm reporting live from, we're going to say Washington, D.C. That's all right with y'all. So today on the topic, we've got a couple of things we want to talk about. First up, we're going to talk a little sports. NBA, it's restarting, as everybody knows, due to coronavirus. COVID hit early, stopped the season. And here we are going to do the restart in Orlando, Florida. So the question that we're looking at today is there going to be an asterisk next to the winner? They're going to restart. They're going to play these 8 or 9 games, do a whole playoff series. So a lot of people are saying, it's going to be an asterisk. The season doesn't really count. The champion gets an easy way to the finals. You get a whole, 3-4 month break, nice little layoff to recover. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you feel like they're really going to be an asterisk, or do you feel like this is actually even harder for them to win it? Justin, we'll start with you.
I would say it's not an asterisk. And the reason why I say that is because this is a job for these guys. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to stay ready. I feel like even with the layoff, they should have still been in the gym. Most of these guys have access to gyms, even if they can't get with their teammates. There might be a little rust to start off, but I still feel like it's going to be extra competitive. If anything, people will be well-rested and more healthy. I definitely see a little more competitive edge to this playoffs this year. So I wouldn't put an asterisk beside it at all.
It's a good point. That's a good point that you make. But they are professionals. And as you can tell, NCAA tournament did not restart. Totally different animal. But professionals are not professionals. We're all human. And there's a human element to this thing. It's not just, physically staying in shape. I think you do have to think a lot about, the mental aspect, being locked in that bubble. Do you think that's going to challenge them more so than the physical aspects of it? It is a mental game as well. No fans there, things like that. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, the physically strong always prevail. You know what I'm saying? Like, half the battle in the playoffs is, mental, So, like, LeBron, the superstars, KDs of the league, the Currys, even though, KD and Curry aren't going to be in the playoffs, just using examples, they're always ready, Mentally, they're always sharper. They're always, more mentally prepared. They take care of themselves physically. Like, I feel like the guys who are supposed to be there in the playoffs, they'll show up.
So do you feel like this is really going to actually benefit the veteran players? Because a lot of people think, hey, with this restart, no one knows what to expect. If you're a young team, this could benefit you actually. But do you feel like it's opposite, like veteran leadership's going to prevail?
I actually do feel like veteran leadership's going to prevail. And the reason why is because as far as like the layoff, that already gives veterans, a little edge as far as getting back healthy. You know what I'm saying? They're going to stay in shape. So I feel like the mental part and the mental aspect of it for veterans, they're already mentally prepared for this. They've been preparing for this since the beginning of the season. So even a couple month layoff, I don't think it's going to hurt them as much as a young guy who's still learning how to prepare himself for even a regular NBA game, let alone, the NBA playoffs where the intensity every night is going to be 110%. So, a guy like, John Morant, he might struggle a little more with this restart. To me, that's just in my opinion, compared to somebody like a Kyrie or a LeBron James. These guys, they've been there, done that. They've had layoffs. They've had injuries in the playoffs and missed the series and come back the next series, and they've been able to, not miss a beat. So I definitely give the veterans an edge in this situation.
Very true, very true. Obi, same question to you. What do you feel? You feel like it's an asterisk? You feel like, winner take all? How do you feel?
So I agree with Justin at first, but he literally just talked me into the opposite view. So let me ask you, right? You say it's not an advantage, or I won't say that. You say it's not an asterisk, right? But you admit that it's an advantage to the veterans. a disadvantage to the younger guys. So to me, like you said, a team like, perfect example, the Lakers, right? LeBron, he's been doing this for 16, 17, 18 years. He knows the grind of the season. You give him a 3-month layoff to get healthy. AD, who, as good as he is, his one knock is he's always hurt. You give him 2-3 months to get healthy. A team like Portland, Nurkic, who probably might not have made it back to late in the playoffs or the beginning of the playoffs. Now you have Nurkic back, your big man. That's an advantage. If I'm a younger team who was, let's say OKC was balling. They snuck their way into that 8 seed, just playing great basketball. Chris Paul had them boys, you know what I'm saying, on one accord, on one mission. If I'm them, I'm not saying I had a chance to win it all, but I'm kind of hot. You give the best players in the world an advantage by giving them the time to recover because they know the grind. They're 9 times out of 10, LeBron's chilling at home with his family. It's the young boys who are just getting into the grind and the routine of being a professional. They've been restless. You can't go to your facility. Yeah, you might have a hoop in your crib or close by, but you might not have the routine of that grind that the veterans do. So to me, if anything, when it resumes, you're going to see those veteran teams. They're going to be that much more prepared than the younger teams who are coming off playing, cold turkey. Because you can't imitate the speed of an NBA game. I get it, but
you definitely can't. No, you're right about that. You can't imitate it. But, I mean, with that same logic, you talk about things like chemistry, talk about team morale, momentum, where all of that was. Those are kind of things that are, you can't measure. They're intangibles. So do you think that a team who had a lot of momentum, a team that was really hot going into this, and, now you get a 3-month break, do you think that keeps up? I mean, there's no way you can be, on the same page as you were 3 months ago, without playing the basketball together. So, I mean, do you think that's going to affect a lot of teams? Because, look at Milwaukee, look at the Lakers. Their chemistry is at an all-time high. Then again, you take a team like Houston, they completely revamped their roster about 2 weeks before this all happened and just, completely traded everybody away, went small ball. So, I mean, how do you feel like the chemistry is going to play a factor into it?
Let me say this. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Obi.
No. All I was going to say is that aspect, like I said, we agreed that you can't imitate the speed and the physicality of the NBA game, live action game. You can play all the, the street ball pickup games you can. But it depends on what these teams did with this time. I highly doubt a lot of the guys, you'll see some guys who they put on weight, a little slow off the step because they've probably just been at home, just chilling. But the real professionals, they be like, nah, I'm going to find a gym. Either I have a gym, but, LeBron probably been hosting guys, bringing guys in for workouts. It's like that Jordan mentality we saw in The Last Dance, In between filming staging, he had dudes coming in, flying in, like, yo, come hoop. I'm still trying to get better.
No,
the real professionals have been doing that too. So I feel like a team, like I said, going back to veteran leadership, a team that's serious about winning it all, knowing in the back of their mind the season will resume, they've been working behind the scenes. The younger guys, to me, outside of the special guys like Ja and Zion, they've probably been fucking off. They probably just been like, look, man, I'm going to use this time to kind of chill, do whatever. But like I said, the advantage goes to the veterans in this climate.
It's true. What do you think, Justin? You wanted to get in on that?
Now, I'll say this. I feel like there's advantages and disadvantages to everybody in this situation.
100%.
You got to look at a guy. You got to look at a guy like Zion, who, he was only 19 games into his career, and he wasn't in the best of shape. He was getting in better shape, but he wasn't in the best of shape. And now he's saying he's ready to rock and roll. He's slimmed down. He's in game time shape. He's ready to rock and roll. Some of these younger guys, I've noticed some of the rookies or younger guys, like they tend to slow down as the season goes on. So this break,
bodies start to break down.
Advantage for them as well,
definitely.
That's a good point.
Advantage where they can, John might say, oh, I could go in and work on this for a couple months while we're chilling, so I can get my shot better. I can work on, game management and setting the floor for my teammates. So there's a lot of things guys can do, even the young guys. I would hope that they're watching film and everything like that, just like the veterans. So, it just depends on the person to me. I feel like there's advantages and disadvantages for everybody. As far as some of these younger teams who are lower seeds, Now they're all playing in Orlando, so there's no home court advantage. For some of these more veteran teams.
Yeah. It's like an AAU tournament now.
And that may be a reason why they put an asterisk next to it, because it's more of an open window for any team to pull it off. You might see Philly come out of the East just because, they got healthy. Ben Simmons was hurt, before this started, and he's still a young player, so this has advantages for the young players.
It's very true, and a good point that you make. A lot of people don't realize that these NBA teams, when they get going, when they're in the midst of the regular season, they have back-to-backs, things like that. Practice in the NBA is not what it is in college. These guys in the morning wake up, they work out. Then they might have a session where they watch film. And if there's not a game that day, they may run a practice. But during that practice, they're not scrimmaging. They're not going 5-on-5. They're working on their game on the side with an assistant coach. If they're injured, they're probably doing some light lifting, stretching, things like that. So even during the season, they're just trying to preserve their bodies for the next game. So I do think for guys who might have been out of shape, like when you mentioned Zion, you mentioned all these younger guys, maybe people coming back from injuries, 100% this benefits them. It lets you condition, and it also gives you a moment where you can sit, watch film, work on your game individually. Because a lot of during the season, you're not really working on your game so much. That's really in the off season when people get the time to improve. And then they come out in summer league, they come out in the preseason, and they try to get, in the rotation. So this is like a mini off season for a lot of people. And I think you're going to see guys who were kind of lackluster in the start of the season, and they're going to come on. And I think bench depth is going to be huge in this, because for guys who aren't conditioned, they're not going to be playing 35, 36 minutes off the rip. They're going to have to come in, ease their way in these first 8-9 games, play 28, 30 minutes until they can get to a point where they're good to go. So I think bench depth is going to be key. Youth is going to be key. So if you have an older team, you got to go 10 deep. You got to go 11 deep. And I think that's going to determine a lot about who wins. So, in my opinion, no asterisk. Play ball. Best team wins. It's as simple as that. So, with that being said, though, I'll ask you guys, we'll close that out on this. Obi, who are your two picks? Who's coming out the East? Who's coming out the West? And who do you got winning it?
Like I said, right now, I'm in the minority right now. You guys don't think it's an asterisk. I think when you have a once-in-a-lifetime worldwide pandemic happen and you basically freeze the world for 2.5 months, you have to put an asterisk. You just have to. That's me. But saying that, the Lakers out of the West, just because I feel like they're already on that track, and then you add giving LeBron and AD rest, the guys are, yeah. And I know they've been working behind the scenes, so they got the West. The East, I still want to say the Bucks. They're outside of Giannis. We know what Giannis is about, but they're just built. Middleton. You have a million shooters. Your big man can shoot. They're just built to play the Lakers. So I know that's a simple answer, but Milwaukee, LA, that's mine.
And who takes it? Bucks or Lakers? Who wins it?
I got the Lakers. I don't think the Bucks are quite there yet. LeBron AD connection is just too much. And I feel like right before all this happened, they were starting to get their chemistry going as a unit outside of those two. The role players were starting to gain more confidence. LeBron was starting to get more confidence in them. So if they can pick off where they left off, yeah.
It's fair. Justin, what do you think?
Let's go. I'd like to say that I feel like people don't understand that this might be the most competitive playoff battle we've ever seen, as far as like all 8 teams, all 16 teams, 8 teams on each side being pretty much fully healthy, motivated. A lot of times in the season of NBA, we have situations where teams take games off, or they're not as motivated on some nights. When this restarts, it's crunch time. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be crunch time. So like everybody's going to be coming full force, even if everybody's not playing their full 38 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever the case may be. I still feel like everybody's going to be bringing it from game one. Even these 8 games that they play before the playoffs start, this is going to be super competitive. We have like 10 seeds that are going to have an opportunity to get this 8th seed. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the competitive nature of this year's playoffs is going to be next to none. And with that being said, in the East, I do feel like Giannis and the Bucks are the favorite, but a team I would not sleep on is Toronto. I feel like depth, like Hodge said, is going to be very key in these playoffs, and I like the depth that Toronto has. They have a championship pedigree. They have a lot of veteran players. But they also have a lot of young key pieces that are, you know what I'm saying, that have played key minutes in playoff situations. So I like Toronto as well in the East. In the West, going back to depth, I like the Clippers, man. They can guard you. They can guard pretty much any team. Small ball, big lineups. They can guard any team. They have Swiss Army knives and PG and Kawhi. They can switch back and forth on LeBron. But LeBron, 3 months off for a guy like LeBron, that's huge. That's huge, man. So I expect to see those two teams battle it out in the West to play either Toronto or the Bucks. But if I would have to pick the two, I would say Bucks and Clippers. And I would say the Clippers take that.
Clippers, all right. So we got one Lakers, we got one Clippers. I like your Eastern Conference pick. They're kind of a sleeper in a way, but I feel like a lot of people want to be trendy nowadays. They want to pick everyone wants to pick the favorite, but at the same time, you don't really want to see the favorites. Every year we knew the Cavs and the Warriors were the favorites, but we didn't really want to see it after year 2 or 3. It was kind of like, come on now, we already know what the finals is going to be. But I think this year, I do think it's going to be pretty cut and dry. I do think it's going to be Lakers and Bucks. I think the Lakers will win. But I don't think it's going to be pretty. I think the NBA, and this is not a conspiracy, but I think it's going to be a lot of 7-game series. You're going to see a lot of games where teams are just terrible. They shoot the ball well, or they shoot the ball poorly. They don't get out in transition and run, rebounding. It's just going to be sloppy, a lot of turnovers. So I think we will get a lot more 6- and 7-game series. I think these teams are going to find themselves really fighting for it. And at the end of the day, I do think the Lakers are going to get crowned. I think Giannis will finally, break through, get to the finals. But there's something about the Bucks that just – I don't know if it's their center position.
Something missing, right?
Something missing. They've got all the pieces, and on paper, it looks like, how can they not win? They are the best team. But it's just something I need to see. And I think it's just that something you can't describe that you feel like LeBron has. That's just going to make sure, if it's 10 seconds left and the game is tied, Milwaukee gets the ball, Giannis is not taking that last shot. Yeah. So is it Middleton? Who is it? So there's just a lot of questions, and they may be answered, but I could be very wrong. The Bucks could end up sweeping the Lakers, 2020 has been crazy enough, but I think we're all going to wait and see. I think it's going to be very interesting. And asterisk or no asterisk, whatever you think, leave a comment. You can hit us up on Twitter, Instagram. Justin, you on Twitter? No?
I'm on Facebook.
He's on Facebook. Hey, you can find him on Facebook. You see his name there, Justin Gray. That's going to be it for episode 1, guys. So, again, please subscribe. Please comment. Please hit us up on any social media. You can find us. Let us know what you think. We're out.